Hey Tim, look at this.
Needs work.
Hey Tim, how about this?
Still needs work.
Darn it. How about this?
Nice, high five.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
My name's Tim,
My name is Michael.
and you're watching TMI.
That's the Tim and Michael Information Show.
That's right.
Welcome to the top 5 graphic novel / comic book non-Marvel DC mainstream list.
This could be its own Netflix category.
It can.
Really good.
So Tim,
very specific.
Tim talks to me about a month ago and tells me to sort of collect my top 5, what we just said.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what you've grabbed, and we didn't discuss what each other was grabbing, so I think it'd be good to just sort of go back and forth. And I don't think I have a particular order. I don't have a 1 to 5 that, like, this is the best or this one's better. I just grabbed them all. What about you?
Sure. I'm kind of the same way. I've got like my 5, that's 10 actually. I'm saving the best for last, but the others are kind of in no particular order. So we'll just roll with it.
Well, can I go ahead and start with the one that I don't physically have, and can you do a little bit of magic and throw it up there?
Yes, we can definitely do that.
I'm going to do this thing. Oh, I missed doing that. Anita Blake by Laura K. Hamilton. Now, this is under the Marvel label. However, Laura K. Hamilton, for any of our bookworms out there, know that she is already an accomplished author on her own. And these are a set of novels that have existed for a long time. And then they decided that they were going to go ahead and make them into comic books. Now, there are a couple of collections. I don't necessarily think that they would fall into the graphic novel. You know, they're a little thicker than just your weekly comic book. You know, they've got a couple more pages in there. Also, go ahead and do your specific research on the specific artists, because I think they change from book to book, but you'll definitely recognize there's a very, very cool little, almost a little Capullo Campbell-esque, you know, but the other names are coming to mind, and I don't want to misquote which ones they are. But go ahead and look that one up. For me, I don't count that as a mainstream Marvel, because she's not necessarily, like I said, an X-Men character or anybody of the like, and I don't believe, from what I've read, that there's any crossover. I could be wrong, but to my knowledge, it's just from the book series. Cool thing is, Linda K. Hamilton actually writes the script for the graphic novel, so it's the own author kind of taking all their imagery and condensing it into which words they're going to do and working with the artists and then deciding which frames they're going to do. So that's my pick number 1.
Nice. That's really cool. My pick number 1, which I have with me, is Tintin in Tibet.
Ooh.
So Tintin kind of became part of the collective consciousness of America a few years ago when Steven Spielberg did his Adventures of Tintin movie. The character's European, actually. And then prior to that film, we actually had the animated TV series
which
from
I watched.
HBO. Very nice.
Yes, I used to watch that. And I remember Adventures of Tintin being aired on Nickelodeon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of those, like, when I saw it on the Spielberg, posters, I was like, no way, So
Nice.
When did this one come out?
I'm not sure. This probably would have been maybe the 50s or so. This actually, last episode when we talked about our graphic novel versus comic book history, you let us off by mentioning how originally we got these things as serialized adventures, and that's how television was and radio was, and that's actually how Tintin started out. The author, whose name I believe is pronounced Hergé.
Hergé. Do you mind if I see
Yeah,
a little
go
bit?
for it.
I gotta look at some of those frames and just,
And we'll be sure to put some of those up on the screen for you because they're just glorious. But all that to say, the Tintin adventure started out as a serialized either newspaper or magazine adventure, and now have been collected into a single volume. And again, it's a little different from a traditional comic book, where again the adventures are a little fluid and tend to run together. These have a very distinct stop, beginning, and end, so it reads out very nicely like a graphic novel.
Having not read this, I would say that anybody that loves nostalgia and Americana is gonna really... There's something to be said about the evolution of the comic strips, and you can just kind of tell, that this is one of those iconic, looks. Looking through it, I can already feel the, like, sort of... I know it's not Americana is the wrong word for it,
Sure.
but it's definitely another time period. You know what I mean? So nice.
Yeah. So all these are great, but definitely check this one out. It's one of my favorites. Really great story with a lot of heart, and the pictures are just absolutely gorgeous.
Great. I love it.
Yeah. So that's my number one.
Moving on to my pick number 2. Now, this might seem a little cliche, but
Very nice.
yes, and this is a Vertigo comic, so that definitely falls within its own. V for Vendetta, Alan Moore, David Lloyd. You can go ahead and hold on to that. Now, I'm going to preface this and say one of the reasons why it is my favorite, even though I have not finished it, is because there's a preface in there from Mr. Moore, I believe, and he was talking about, and you could read it in there, how he started writing this, and he was in a very particular place in his life. And how, by the end of when he finished writing this, it took years to complete him writing this book, that he said he could definitely feel that he was in a different place where he stopped than when he started. And he said he was going to go back and redo the beginning, but then he decided not to, because then that would probably change the entire thing again. There is a point where this book definitely picks up and suddenly whoo, it takes off. However, I don't want to say I'm stuck in the beginning. It is a hard read. I'm just really engrossed with everything that's happening, and I just keep rereading that first part over and over and over again. I haven't seen the film because I haven't finished this, but still, I definitely know and also respect a lot of its political opinions and standing that it also has had its effect in history. People refer to this one an awful lot, and I think it's something to say about the writing process, even though there's some intense visuals in here. Really well done that he stuck to his guns and just stuck with the original story without rewriting it. So
Good.
That's my pick number 2.
Excellent. And that is one that I've read as well, and I have made it all the way to the end, but I've only read it the one time, so you're probably well versed on, or better versed on certain aspects of it than I am, and
Making my face.
yeah, I was very tempted to do that myself. Yeah,
All right.
good read.
Pick
All
number
right.
2 for you.
Pick number 2, all right. So my pick number 2 is Greasemonkey. And I'll hold this a little bit closer up to the camera so you can see the play on words there. That is a gorilla on the front who is the titular character. So this is a series of science fiction escapades that take place on a space station in the future. And in this particular future, humanity has partnered with these genetically enhanced apes who are able to walk and talk and perform, just the same functions as humans. They basically live alongside humanity. So Mac is the main character of this particular story and is a mechanic on the space station who befriends a young boy named Robin, who is also a crack mechanic, and they get into a lot of trouble together and have fun together, and it's a really great mentor-mentee relationship where Mac just bestows a lot of wisdom on young Robin. So really fun read, some pretty fun visuals, and I had a great time with this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Good job, sir.
Thank you.
We haven't overlapped any books yet, but I'm going to go ahead and jump to pick number 3 for me.
All right.
A collection, Spawn, which it technically falls under Dark Horse.
Okay.
I believe. Even though there has been a Batman crossover, but still. Todd McFarlane. Oh my goodness. I can't say enough great things about that man. And also Greg Capullo, who does a lot of the art for this series as well. In fact, Spawn issue number 79 is the art cover that really started to change a lot of my art approach and art style when I was in junior high.
Nice.
When I was in 7th grade and I saw that comic. So, but this one, obviously, it says issue 1 there on the spine. This is a collection, of the comics that had come out, and so I have 2 and 3 at home as well. But still, there's something to be said about a cool new original character, especially for somebody like McFarlane, who had worked in a couple other capacities, even for Marvel. He helped create Venom.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was kind of that 80s era, creating those grittier distinctly 80s characters.
Yeah,
So.
he's got
Yeah.
a way of. In fact, Marshall talked about him capturing that teenage boy angst, but really, some visceral art in these comics, and really great depictions of the hellspawn and the creatures and demons, and just I can't say enough good things about it. I can't. So
Good.
Spawn. Your number 3?
My number 3.
Number 3?
My number 3, this isn't something I would have normally expected to pick up. This is Law of the Desert Born, and I'll let you hold that. I keep picking these really big books to obscure my face.
I like them.
Right? So, I'm not really somebody who's drawn to Westerns, but every once in a while I'll find a really good Western movie that I just absolutely get sucked into. And this was one of those. Kind of the classic Western tale of... there's a killer in the town who's now trying to evade justice, and the sheriff goes after him with the help of the killer's former partner, and they form this reluctant, uneasy alliance. This book was a really fun read, not just for the thrilling adventure, but also the pictures and compositions are really stunning.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you having a good time with
wow.
that? Yeah.
Wow. This is in tone?
In tone, 100% in tone. And for our non-artist friends, tone is a way we refer to black and white. So this is
Grayscale
100% grayscale.
Gosh.
Yeah. And even more than just the artwork, I found the pacing of this was just phenomenal. Just every Western movie trope that you've ever seen really comes to life. I mean, the scene where you've got the sniper kind of up on the ridge, looking at the lone horseman down in the gully, and you just hear the wind totally blow through the canyon, and you hear the clip clop, and your heart just stops because it's such a well-paced scene. So this is well worth the read. There's some really good twists and turns, and if you're a fan of Westerns, this is probably
I feel the dirt
really...
on my boots looking at
Right?
this thing. And I'm huge on Westerns.
Yeah.
I mean, I live a Western for work, That's what it's wow. Look at that. I got to share this with everybody at work.
Please
God,
do.
That's fabulous, I think we're going to go ahead and cut this in half now.
Okay.
So go ahead and get on to episode 2, because I have a feeling picks 4 and 5, even though we haven't overlapped yet, picks 4 and 5 we're going to talk a little longer about.
Yeah.
So stay
Definitely
tuned
got some
for
good things to say.
episode 2, everybody, or part 2 of the top 5.
All right. Cut.